Article 370 affidavit submitted by the government in Supreme Court today. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 years ago, often called the crown jewel of India, Jammu and Kashmir was fully integrated with Bharat. The barrier between the status of Kashmiris and outsiders, a special status that segregated Jammu and Kashmir from other states, was demolished with the landmark decision of the abrogation of Article 370. Today, the centre still defends the move with the same determination that it did on the 5th of August 2019 when it came to power for a second time with a majority in the Lok Sabha. In its affidavit to the Supreme Court, the Union Home Ministry has stated that after the abrogation of Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed unprecedented stability and progress, with stone pelting becoming a thing of the past, flaunting numbers to back its case. The centre stated that terrorism has come down 45%, infiltration has decreased by 90%, there is a 97% dip in law and order disturbances. The casualties when it comes to security forces has come down by 66%. The centre has also cited that 1,767 stone pelting incidents in 2018 today compares to a 0 in 2023. Listen in.
मुझे याद है एक दौर था कि जब मस्जिद के अंदर नमाज अदा करने हमारे मुसलमान भाई जाते थे और वापसी में डर रहता था पत्थरबाजी की घटनाएं। आज कोई पत्थरबाजी की घटनाएं नहीं है। ये बम, बंदूक, पिस्तौल और गोलियों का शोर कश्मीर में थमा है। इसका लाभ कश्मीर के लोगों को हुआ है। ये देश सबका है। ये देश हिंदू, मुसलमान, सिख, ईसाई सबका है। सबका सबके लिए समान अधिकार है।
But the Naya Kashmir, walking shoulder to shoulder with Barta Bharat, has once again hurt the ecosystem where it hurts the most. Listen in.
To say the least, it is contrary to the realities and the facts. And it is, in my view, distortion of the whole course of the history, and the present situation is being exaggerated to the extent I never thought of. And in my view, as far as Jammu Kashmir is concerned, before 90 it was peaceful, nobody could deny. Tourists were coming, conferences were held, elections were held, parliamentary elections, assembly, panchayat and all that. And then eruption of militancy is not the cause of Article 370, but in our opinion, erosion of constitutional position, Article 370, denial of democratic rights to the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate with Shehzad Poonawalla and Dr. Anand Ranganathan is Sushil Pandit, Majid Haidri, political analyst, Abid Mir Magami, youth leader of the Congress party. But my first question goes to Bashir Ahmed, senior leader of the National Conference. Bashir Ahmed Sahab, you should be welcoming because the figures tell the story of Jammu and Kashmir. The fact is that violence incidents have gone down, stone pelting is down, infiltration bids are down, and overall peace has returned to the Kashmir Valley. Can you deny that?
जम्मू कश्मीर में 5 अगस्त 2019 के बाद डेमोक्रेसी को ख़त्म कर दिया गया है। जम्मू कश्मीर में पहले असम्बली के चुनाव 2014 में हुए, 9 साल हो गए हैं जम्मू कश्मीर में असम्बली के चुनाव हुए। जो फिगर्स बताए जा रहे हैं, ये फिगर्स बेसिस नहीं है कि इनकी वजह से जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर 370 हटाया गया। जम्मू कश्मीर में 370 हटाने का रीज़न था कि बीजेपी के एजेंडे पे था, हटाया। लेकिन सवाल ये है कि जम्मू कश्मीर में आज भी लोगों को मिसट्रस्ट है। जम्मू के अंदर लोगों को 5 अगस्त 2019 के बाद एक जेल खाने में रखा गया। उसके बाद आहिस्ता आहिस्ता ये जो आज सिचुएशन है, ये जो चुप लोग हैं, ये चुप लोग जो हैं, इसलिए ये तूफ़ान एक बड़े तूफ़ान का पेश खेमा है। आपको ये याद रखना चाहिए कि जमहूरियत में जमहूरियत डंडे से नहीं चलती। जमहूरियत पुलिस की जरिए से नहीं चलती।
तो इतने साल जब डंडा नहीं था तब जमहूरियत कहाँ चली गई थी? तब सबके लिए जमहूरियत क्यों नहीं थी? तब वहां पर जितने लोग थे।
पहले सुन लीजिए मेरी बात सुन लीजिए। पहले जब मैं बोल रहा था, जब आप वहां बोल रहे थे, मैं नहीं बोल रहा था। अब मैं बोल रहा हूं, पहले सुन लीजिए मेरी बात। जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर आज जो कुछ भी आप कहते हैं वो सब फिक्टिशियस फिगर्स हैं। जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर कोई नई चीज डेवलप नहीं हुई है। जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर कोई बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट नहीं आया। जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं हुई जिसका गवर्नमेंट दावा कर सके कि हमने 5 अगस्त 2019 के बाद ये बनाई है, जहां कोई 50,000 नौजवान लगा हो या कोई ऐसी बात हुई हो जो लोगों के साथ।
चलिए इससे पहले कि मैं शहजाद पूनावाला जी के पास आऊं, मैं एक अनबायस्ड ओपिनियन लेना चाहती हूं। और आनंद रंगनाथन, आई वांट टू आस्क यू, हैज नथिंग चेंज्ड इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर?
Navika, please bear with me because I want to talk. I want to talk about just facts. Look, the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A corrected a historical injustice that had brought only misery to the people of Kashmir. Let me explain very briefly why. Number one, the instrument of accession signed between the Maharaja of Kashmir and India in October 1947 is identical to what many rulers of other princely states also signed, with all these states later merging completely with India. After all, the choice given to the 600 odd principalities in 1947 to join either India or Pakistan, they could not become independent. Kashmiris are not special. They are just like the rest of us. Number two, it is a fact that Hyderabad could so easily have been what Kashmir is today. And fools would be writing column yards on its struggle but for one man, Sardar Patel, who incidentally was not even consulted on Article 370, even though it was deemed temporary in nature. Jawaharlal roega, he told V. Shankar Iyer. Jawaharlal did not cry, but 1 billion Indians did. Nehru had also asked Sheikh Abdullah, by the way, to approach Dr. Ambedkar for the drafting of Article 370. The Sheikh approached Ambedkar, and this is what, according to Professor Madhav, Dr. Ambedkar told the Sheikh, I quote, "You want India to defend Kashmir, feed its people, give Kashmiris equal rights over India, but you want to deny India and Indians all rights in Kashmir? I am the law minister of India. I cannot be party to such a betrayal of national interest," unquote. Number three, Article 35A, Navika, was illegal. It was applied to JNK surreptitiously in 1954 through a presidential order without invoking Article 368. It bypassed the parliament altogether, finds mention only in the appendix. Worse, I now quote Nehru, what he said on the floor of the House, quote, "Government of Kashmir is rightly afraid that Kashmir would be overrun by people whose sole qualification might be too much money and nothing else," unquote. It is therefore clear, those who wanted 370 and 35A stood against the integration of Kashmir. It is they who believed in the two-nation theory. Navika, finally, number four. These are the same people who were silent when lakhs of West Pakistan refugees who ran for their lives were barred from local jobs and welfare schemes, when Dalits were brought to Kashmir to work as sweepers in 1957 and their children could only get a job as a sweeper because they weren't domiciled, when for 70 years the human rights of lakhs of Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees were brutally trampled upon by the state, and its politicians like Farooq Abdullah delighted in saying, and I quote, "They want to abolish 370 and we'll remain silent. Inshallah, we will fight. We dare them. Allah would want that we gain independence from India." Navika, just 10 seconds. Finally, those Supreme Court judges who rejected opening cases of atrocities against Kashmiri Hindus but are now adjudicating on whether the morally just 370 abrogation is valid are unfit to deliver justice and should return to enjoying evening dance concerts.
Well, so let me ask Abid Mir Magami of the Congress party. I want to ask you, when is the last time did you see movie halls operating in Jammu and Kashmir? When is the last time you saw 1.88 crore tourists, visiting Kashmir? That was the figure 2022, and this year already 80 lakh people have been to Jammu and Kashmir. 82 lakh beneficiaries have got the Sehat scheme. Let me also tell you, 78,000 crores have come in as interest as far as investment is concerned, and so many projects that have been languishing for 20 years have been completed. I want to ask you, can you still say कि आर्टिकल 370 का फायदा नहीं हुआ है जम्मू और कश्मीर को?
First of all, revocation of article was undemocratic and unconstitutional. And you talk about development, and you forget one thing. Kashmir has second highest unemployment rate. Is this you people call development? Why still Kashmiri Pandit not rehabilitated in Kashmir?
And what was the employment, Shehzad Poonawala, before Article 370? Was anybody talking about employment, or were we only talking about terrorism and stone-pelting?
I would take it in another way. If it was full employment at that time, then the reason for which people were throwing stones was not employment. It was theological. Are you accepting that? But that's not the point. The point that I'm trying to make tonight is only this, that the politics of Jammu Kashmir after the abrogation of 370 has gone from PPP, Pakistan Parasti, Patharbazi and Parivarwad, to DDD, decentralization, democratization and development. D for decentralization. 3 families used to have a control on the politics. Today 34,000 elected officials are there. DDC elections took place. D for development. 15,000 crores was invested. Today 78,000 crores have been invested. D for decentralization, development, and this is the dialogue that is taking place. The fact of the matter is, somebody asked what has been done. 2 aims, 7 new government medical colleges, 82 lakh beneficiaries of the Sehat scheme, 78,000 crores in investment, films being screened, the budget increased to 1,18,000 crores, roads, highways, Nal Se Jal 65% coverage, almost 18 lakh households have got this coverage. Today, terror hotspot has come down, 45% decline in terror, 90% decline in infiltration, 97% law and order incidents are down, 65% death of security forces is down, 95% stone pelting is down. But what is up? School enrollment, tourism. This is the change that has taken place. Today, there's a tricolor from Lal Kila to Lal Chowk. Today, there is no tufan, no खून की नदियां that is flowing after the abrogation of 370. And by the way, जो दल हित की बात करते हैं, आज दलितों को अधिकार मिल रहा है, महिलाओं को अधिकार मिल रहा है, ये वही पार्टियां हैं. हाँ, but the reason why they are opposing it is because 106 central laws now apply, which includes laws on corruption, and those who did corruption in the valley are now being caught by the scuff of the collar. And for Mr. Bashir, आपको तो आंकड़ों से ज्यादा परेशानी होती है. ये तस्वीर देख लो. मनमोहन सिंह बुलाकर बिरयानी खिलाते थे यासीन मलिक को. आज उनके कॉलर को पकड़कर उन्हें कन्विक्ट किया गया है. यही अंतर है. वाजपेयी जी को आप भूल गए. आप सेपरेटिस्ट कन्विक्ट हुआ है यासीन मलिक, उसको कन्विक्टेड मानते कि नहीं मानते? इज ये टेररिस्ट फॉर यू?
Let me get in Majid Haidri. Majid Haidri, Valmiki, Safai Karamcharis, West Pakistan refugees, they get protection today. Jan Dhan Yojana benefits go to the poor people today. There are investment proposals that have come in. 32 out of 57 projects have been completed under the Prime Minister's development package. 40,000 schools and Anganwadis today have got some sort of development, provided with tap water. 13,000 houses under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. There is linguistic diversity. There is also buns are down from 52 to 0, 2018 to now. Terror incidents are down. Terror recruitment is down from 200 to just 12. I want to ask you, Majid Haidri, hand on your heart. I'm not saying everything is perfect in the last 3 or 4 years, but the fact is things have begun to move. आज जो दल लेक दिखती है, आज जो टूरिस्ट दिखते हैं, आपको पता है टूरिज्म सबसे बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है.
Because Makhanlal Bindru lost his life. Hakuna Matata because Virendra Paswan lost his life, who were never killed in the last 20 years. I mean, his government celebrating the killings, the targeted killings. I want to know it from Shehzad Poonawala. That was Makhanlal Bindru killed to celebrate this, that there is an improvement in situation. The killing of Kashmiri Pandits and their endless pain attribute to improvement in situation. I mean, government is careless towards Kashmiri Pandits and Shehzad Poonawala.
Sushil Pandit, are you surprised that आज कश्मीरी पंडितों का दर्द उभर के बाहर आ रहा है माजिद हैदरी साहब से?
नहीं, so we live in ironical times and I'm not surprised because he's been taking this line for a long time. इनका ये जो इल्हाम है हमारे बारे में ये आता है गाहे बगाहे उभर के. But Navika ji, there is one very clear question that I have in my mind. Was Article 370 abrogated or neutered because all this was to follow? Or was it neutered because all that happened before August 5 was the reason for it? Why are we shying away from the fact that 70 years of Article 37, destruction and corruption in Kashmir, led to discrimination in Kashmir, where there is a white paper on what happened in Kashmir up to August 5, 2019. Why isn't there an admission of the fact that the genocide happened? Why are we fighting shy of the fact that criminals ran around running administration and gobbled up thousands of crores of Indian taxpayers' money? Where is the white paper on that?
Where's the white paper on that, Shehzad Poonawala? Of course, before
May I comment very quickly?
Yes.
And therefore, I asked today of Mr. Majid Hydari, before rehabilitation comes repentance. Do you agree that what happened with Sushil Pandit and his ilk is actually Islamic jihad? That there were slogans of Relief Sarif Ghalif from masjids, that they were driven out for the 7th time and that genocide was carried out, and people like you who are crying horse today were the ones who actually defended it, backed it and continued to support the likes of Yasin Malik or the major perpetrators. Surface पे थोड़ा scratch कर दो तो असली चेहरा नकाब गिर जाता है और असली चेहरा बाहर आ जाता है. जरा सा scratch करना है बस.
What stops you from ordering an inquiry and coming up with a white paper on Kashmir?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before the pain of the past can go away, of course, there has to be some home truths that have to be put out. But the question is, for those who were the doubters, for those who continued to hide behind Article 370 to try and create a special status, did they forget the real special people of Kashmir? Did they forget the Kashmiri Pandits? Did they forget the Valmikis, the Safai Karamcharis, the refugees from West Pakistan who settled there? And today, when they're being taken off, nobody can claim that in 4 years, the scourge of 70 years will be washed away. But shouldn't the healing have begun? जख्मों को अब भी कुरेदना क्या जरूरी है? माजिद हैदरी, इस सवाल के बारे में सोचिएगा. मरहम का समय है. कुछ समय मरहम ढूंढकर मरहम लगाने पर लगाइए. जख्म खुद ब खुद भर जाएंगे. आज बस इतना ही. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to my panelists for joining me on the NewsHour tonight. Good night. Be safe.